Hi ladies, I'm Barbara and I am your menopause drama mama. Second video, this is to the one I did on hormone health, and these are just a series that I was doing on head to toe on all the nutrients and different food and your lifestyle changes that you can do. But this video, I think, is probably going to be the most important video you could ever probably watch to understand what exactly is happening after your menopause years when your ovaries quit producing estradiol. And estradiol is literally the most important estrogen that your body made. This hormone was the one that actually supported everything in your body. So before menopause happened, your ovaries produced the estradiol, which is E2, and this was the potent form of estrogen that literally helped everything in your body. But now, after menopause, your ovaries make very, very little estradiol at all, and at some point, it will not produce anything. So instead of, having your estrogen coming from your ovaries, which was the estradiol E2, now your body is producing more estrone, which is E1. And this also produces androgens from your adrenal glands. And I will have little graphic images for you that you can read, so maybe you can understand this better. Because remember, I'm not a doctor, and I was just a woman who went through menopause without any help whatsoever from any doctor. Nobody would give me answers until about 6 years after menopause, and by then my life was pure hell. So I am just hoping that somehow, some way, there will be a woman out there that I can help, and I hope there's more than one. But so now that your body is producing estrone, which is the E1. This actually, it's produced when androgens, which are from your adrenal glands and some of your ovaries, are converted in body fat. So your liver helps process estrogens, including estrone, and sends them into the bile and then into the intestines. So at this point, if you have adequate fiber, regular bowel movements, and a healthy gut microbiome, much of that estrone that is being created is excreted in your stool, so when you go to the bathroom. But if your bowel movements are infrequent, or certain gut bacteria produces high amounts of an enzyme called beta-glucuronidase, some of that estrogen can be reactivated and reabsorbed into your bloodstream instead of being eliminated from your body. So now, too much estrone, ladies, is, not real healthy for your body. And this can be associated with certain health risks. And it's not just simply that absorbing estrone from the gut causes the diseases, but there is a total hormone production, your body fat, your liver function, your genetics, and also overall estrogen metabolism all play an important role here. So this is what researchers have found. And this is extremely, extremely important for you to understand. Higher estrone, remember, this is the other estrogen produced in your body after menopause. This is not the estradiol that was produced in your ovaries. Higher estrone after menopause has been associated with increased risk of estrogen-sensitive breast cancer. That's where breast cancer comes from. It is this increase of estrone in your body that is not being eliminated all the way through, out through bowel movements, and it can get recirculated back into your bloodstream. So estrogen can stimulate estrogen receptors in the breast tissue. And women with obesity often have a higher estrone level because fat tissue converts more androgens into estrone. So higher circulating estrogens after menopause have been linked to a greater risk of estrogen receptor, which is ER, positive breast cancer. Also, when you have the higher estrone level in your system, this can increase your cardiovascular risk. So elevated estrone levels have been associated in some studies with metabolic syndrome and obesity. However, it's difficult to separate the effects of estrone itself from the effects of excess body fat, insulin resistance, and inflammation. Now, I am hoping that I don't lose you on this information because this is so important to understand what's happening in the body. And this is one of the exact reasons why I went on HRT. I needed to get that estradiol back, which was what was my ovaries producing. So I wear that patch on my body because I want the estradiol from the ovaries. I don't want that much estrone being produced more and more, which was creating literally more fat around my belly area. Also, the increased levels of estrone, unfortunately, can cause endometrial uterine cancer. So in women who still have a uterus, prolonged exposure to unopposed estrogen increases risk of endometrial cancer. So this is a concern, which is, a greater concern because the higher estrogen levels are not balanced by progesterone, and that is why I take a micronized progesterone also, besides my estrogen patch or estradiol patch. Weight gain and insulin resistance, higher estrone levels often accompany increased abdominal fat. So many women ask, why do you keep getting that belly fat, fluff around your midsection? Because it is actually that visceral fat that is wrapping around your organs inside. So excess body fat produces more estrone again and contributes to insulin resistance, creating this huge cycle in your body. It also creates chronic inflammation. So elevated estrogen levels can be associated with increased inflammatory signaling in some women, although this relationship is complex. So like I said, I'm not a doctor and I don't know if it would be even beneficial for me to really deep dive into that, because you would most likely be like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. So, and you would bail on my video anyway. So I try really hard to just try and keep it as simple as possible for you. So, and I put up the graphics for you to read, and then maybe you could even do more research on it yourself if you really wanted to know, because there are so many articles out there about this. And, so gut absorption alone doesn't always just make the estrone higher in your body. So the amount of estrogen reabsorbed from the intestine is only a piece of the puzzle. So there's more factors, which include your body fat percentage, your liver health, your gut microbiome composition, your fiber intake, your regular bowel movements, physical activity, which I'm always talking about, weightlifting and all that, genetics, and also hormone replacement therapy. So I am hoping that somehow, some way that I have been able to, give you enough information on this, and, the ways that you can support your estrogen metabolism is by taking that protein, 25 to 30, grams of fiber daily in each of your meals. So you can get that from vegetables, beans, fruits, ground flaxseed, and also you can include the cruciferous vegetables, which are broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and kale. Now, this is why I'm going to a specialized doctor in Illinois, because all of those things that I just mentioned send my gut into a hurricane, and it will last for days and days and days, and I'm not comfortable. And I have been taking my fiber and also my, I always took it right before I would eat dinner or a meal that was high in anything that would cause a lot of gas in my stomach. The enzyme that I was taking, I can't remember what it was, but it was helping, but there are certain things that it just doesn't help enough with, and I didn't want to start taking an excess amount of that, so I want to figure out where that pathway is being blocked in my digestive tract. So anyway, ladies, maintain those regular bowel movements, exercise regularly, maintain a healthy body weight. Extremely, extremely important during this time, because if you don't, it's going to increase that estrone level. And limit your alcohol, which can also increase circulating estrogen in your body, which is that estrone, and support a liver health with a balanced diet. So after menopause, estrone becomes your primary estrogen instead of your ovaries' estrogen. So your liver helps remove used estrogen through your digestive tract. And if you eat enough fiber, keeping your gut healthy and having regular bowel movements, support healthy that can help support your healthy estrogen metabolism. So the goal isn't to eliminate all your estrogen, because you need that. Your body still needs it. But it is to maintain a healthy balance. So, that's why I also say look below in that description box, because I always list Menopause Society, and you can find a menopause doctor there. But you're going to have to ask the right questions, because if you are like me and you have that gut issue and you're still taking, enzymes to try and break all the food down and it's not helping, then you need to do something else. And, I would not suggest having your gallbladder out. But like I said, I am not a doctor, so I am not giving you any advice on that whatsoever. I just believe that our bodies are meant to heal. And that's why I want to see the specialist in Illinois who seems to be able to pinpoint what exactly is going on in the body and be able to help me naturally. So anyway, ladies, I will talk to you very, very soon in my next video. And it'll again be all about things you can do, on head to toe on the next, body part that I talk about, on your nutrients, your supplements, your food to eat, and just to keep us healthy and happy after our menopause years. So anyway, sending high vibrations and many blessings your way, and I shall talk to you very, very soon in my next video. Take care, ladies, and please give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Bye-bye.